Why doesn't the Congress party just agree to Abdul Kalam and let it be? How is the presidential debate poised? Joining us tonight, Manish Tiwari of the Congress party, Chandan Mitra of the BJP is joining us, Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, President of the Janata Party, Krishna Prasad, Editor-in-Chief of Outlook. Let me get you in first. Krishna, how do you think it's placed? Why does the Congress not save itself the trouble and just agree to Abdul Kalam in your view? Do you think, on the other hand, the NDA has a real choice, or is it simply trying to play spoiler tonight?
I think, Arnav, the reasons why the Congress is not openly backing Mr. Kalam is pretty obvious. There's a history between the former president and the Congress party, and we didn't go too deeply into that. It's pretty obvious. It's been well documented. So I think the reasons are pretty obvious. A. B. I think the Congress wouldn't want to lose this opportunity to basically get its own man in power the next time for the 2014 elections. So it wouldn't want to concede that space to either the NDA or to any third force which might emerge. And you don't want a president who will not be on your side, so to speak. So I think two reasons. One is that there's a history to this whole thing. Two, I think they don't want to cede space to the other side. But most importantly, I think both for the UPA and for the NDA, it's a very piquant situation where neither the Congress nor the BJP can really don't really have the oxygen on their own to kind of push their own candidate into the space, into the presidential race. And what you're really seeing both with the UPA and with the NDA is attempts by the Congress and the BJP respectively to kind of fire from other people's shoulders. So to put it in short, I do think the contest is well and clearly now up in the air. I think you will find a contest, but most importantly, I think you will really find a situation where neither the UPA nor the NDA will find themselves in the very happy position of having their own man in.
Is it, Manish, to Manish Tiwari, isn't, say, Abdul Kalam less political than Pranab Mukherjee? You know, so if it were a choice between Pranab Mukherjee and Abdul Kalam, unless for some particular reason the Congress party wants a political person, why don't you agree for Abdul Kalam? And let it be. Forget the fact that he's the NDA choice. Have a consensus choice. Let it be Abdul Kalam. Forget 2007. Let's move on.
Well, I think, Arnab, you're really putting the cart before the horse, if I can put it as mildly as possible. You know, there is a very preliminary sounding out process which is taking place at the moment. You know, the formal announcement of the electoral process to select the next president of India or to elect the next president of India, you know, has not really kicked off as yet. So I guess,
it's been named. Sushma Swaraj.
We should wait. We should wait and allow the sounding out process to play itself out, and over a period of time, you know,
can you share with us what is the sounding out process?
And things would become clearer.
Okay, let me go to Chandan Mitra. Chandan Mitra, what are you trying to do, as in the BJP? You know that Kalam will never agree unless you give him a 100% guarantee that he's winning. Right? You can't give him a 100% guarantee that he's winning. Kalam is a person who plays safe. You tell him, you'll be consensus candidate, we'll all agree, he will happily come and agree to become president. You are not in a position to give him that. So by taking his name publicly, I'm sorry to say, Chandan Mitra, are you simply using Kalam to queer the pitch?
Arnab, you speak in such certitudes that sometimes I'm baffled as to what to say in response. Now, has Dr. Kalam said he will not be a candidate if there is no consensus? Is there any kind of statement which leads you to this conclusion? Now, Dr. Kalam is not even a candidate. Now, therefore, I don't think that you see any kind of speculation on this is absolutely premature, and on this I agree with Manish that this is only a sounding out process which has begun. But let me clarify where the BJP comes from. We want to build a broad opposition consensus, and two things are not acceptable to us. One is a congressman, an active congressman in the Rashtrapati Bhavan, Mrs. Sushma Swaraj has made it absolutely plain this evening The second thing, with regard to Hamid Ansari's name, which is floating in there, when she was asked that is a national consensus possible on a name, she said yes, we can consider. If the name is big enough, somebody of great stature becomes a national consensus, of course we'll consider it. To which she was asked, is Hamid Ansari the possible national consensus? To which she said, Mr. Hamid Ansari does not have that kind of stature to emerge as the national consensus, in the sense he is not that big a name in the entire country today. Now, so our position is clear. We want a non-Congress.
You politicized it. Why are you looking at it in terms of non-Congress, non-BJP? What is your fear?
Yes,
please articulate it tonight so I'll get it. What is your fear?
Why should we accept a Congress person? We will not accept a Congress person unless there's a contest and the opposition consensus candidate, if one such consensus
You're trying to break the UPA.
Is defeated.
You're trying to break the UPA.
Why should we try to break the UPA? It's the UPA's problem whether whether they survive or they don't survive. We have not taken the responsibility to keep the UPA here together or in office. Obviously, we are the opposition party. We will try, definitely. We don't want a congressman in Rashtrapati Bhavan. That is the bottom line. And I think it's a perfectly legitimate belief and part of our politics.
Well, I think tonight, and let's get Subramaniam Swamy and then I'll open this up. But I think what we are seeing tonight is the open politicization of the presidential contest under the garb that we need a compromise candidate, a consensus candidate, a non-political candidate. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, the politics has started, isn't it?
Arnab, just one point.
Yes.
Wasn't the last election a politicized election?
Of course it was.
It was a totally politicized election.
Of course it was.
So what is so great about a non-politicized election?
Is Kalam a political name you are putting up or a non-political name?
Dr. Kalam was a rare exception. Previous presidents, all political presidents, K.R. Narayanan, Shankar Dayal Sharma, you look at the whole.
The Congress did agree to Kalam.
They did not agree, but they still eventually.
Manish is coming in. 1 sec. Manish is coming in. No, Manish is coming in. Yes, Manish, go on. Then I go to Dr. Swamy after that.
No, Arnab, I find this argument or this line of argument to be highly fallacious. After all, which is the electoral college which elects the President of India? The electoral college consists entirely of political people. You have members of the Lok Sabha, members of the Rajya Sabha and members of the State Assembly, all of them who are elected. In fact, the nominated members of the Rajya Sabha do not have a vote, primarily because of the fact that they are nominated by the President and they owe their position to him. So, and if you look at it in a perspective from 1950 onwards, you have had political people who have occupied this office, and by no stretch of imagination can you say that any of them has diminished the dignity of that office. So therefore, this entire premise of political qua non-political is a completely fallacious premise to begin with.
Well, I don't understand what the premise is when you are allowing yourself to play with Mamata Banerjee's hardball. She will not only extend a pound of flesh, but much more. You will be willing to concede to her demands just to ensure your nominee is elected. I only am making a simple point tonight, Manish Tiwari, that this contest is a 100% political contest. As the quicker political parties stop, going around saying we want somebody of stature, we want some non-political person, because genuinely the people of India might start expecting something like that. Whereas what we are seeing here is a numbers game.
Again, Arnab.
Yes.
Again, Arnab, may I very respectfully point out, that this entire speculation that A will play hardball and B will play softball, and concessions will have to be given to C in order to get him or her on board, is entirely in the realm of speculation.
Not at all.
There is a sounding out process.
Not at all. She has given you...
There's a sounding out process which is going on.
Not at all.
Therefore,
Manish, not at all. She has given you...
We are talking to our allies on a very preliminary basis.
Manish...
let's see as to how the whole thing evolves.
Manish,
therefore to say that, we are giving an arm and a leg to get somebody that we want into the Rashtrapati Bhavan, I think is entirely a fallacious premise.
It's not.
If you allow me to and permit me to say that.
It's not. Neither in terms of numbers or in real politics. You have, along with all the other political parties, you will be sure the TMC has 4% of the vote. They can capsize your boat. And she's given you a 15-day ultimatum for granting a 3-year moratorium on the repayment of central loans. There is a clear bargain going on. It is our responsibility to tell our people what the real bargain is. And if all of this is linked to the... let's be honest.
Has the Chief Minister of West Bengal, has the Chief Minister of West Bengal or the Chief Minister of any other state, attached any strings to their demands?
Officially not, unofficially yes.
With regard... Well, in the sense, unofficially is only in the realm of speculation. We can speculate about everything.
I'll get Subramaniam Swamy on this, because one angle being given to this is that this is slowly, it's basically a lot of parties want to stop the Congress from putting up its own candidate. I don't know if that, as a member of the NDA, Mr. Subramaniam Swamy can throw any light on that, because basically an attempt is being made by the NDA to break the UPA over the presidential contest. Dr. Swamy.
Well, first of all, amongst the candidates that is being discussed quite hotly in the Central Hall, in the party offices and so on, Abdul Kalam only satisfies the minimum qualification, which is that he must be a clean person, probity in life. He should be a person who inspires the young population. After all, 75% of the population is below 35 today in India. And third, he must have some learning in an area which is of national importance. Now, all the other candidates don't match him in the qualifications. Second thing is that it was very unfair that in 2007, the Congress party said anybody but Kalam. This is not the way to treat a person who has been 5 years as a president and also done a lot for the missile technology of this country. And therefore, I think this country is looking forward to Mr. Kalam becoming the candidate, and I'm 100% certain he will be the candidate, and he will not only get the opposition vote, but he'll also get cross-voting from Congress.
Manish Tiwari, why this anybody but a Kalam approach? No, why this? What is the problem? Is it an ego issue? This anybody but Kalam approach, as Subramaniam Swamy rightly says? Why?
Again, I think Dr. Swamy has raised a very relevant question with regard to the demographics of this country. So therefore, if 65% of India is under 35 years of age, I'm getting a lot of audio in my ear. I hope you can hear me properly.
Yeah, continue. We can.
Don't we why don't we change the paradigm completely and start looking at a younger president? Just for the sake of putting it on the table, would the NDA or would all the people on the panel agree that given the demographics of India, India should have a younger president?
I'll take that. So Chandan Mitra want to take that?
No, you should inspire the younger people, not be younger.
You heard that, Manish?
Manish, a lot of younger people inspire younger people, Dr. Swamy.
No, but you didn't answer the question, Manish. The question was, why does the BJP have a problem? What is the question is, Manish, what really could you tell us tonight is the Congress party's fundamental problem with Dr. Kalam? What is the problem? Can you confide in us? Can you share more, throw more light on that?
Let me disabuse this notion completely. The Congress party does not have a problem with any individual per se, but yes, there has been a convention ever since the presidency got established that except for Dr. Rajendra Prasad, we have not had a president who's done 2 terms, so therefore there's a convention which has evolved over a period of time. And if we have respected that convention, it should not be extrapolated, to project as if we have a problem with Dr. Kalam, for whom I personally and a lot of other people have the highest respect for the contribution which he has made in the area of national security.
So why did your party take anybody but Kalam approach?
I can tell you clearly.
Why did you take an anybody but Kalam approach in 2007? Chandan Mitra wants to come in. Chandan Mitra, go on.
No.
Chandan Mitra is rebutting you.
See, Manish is giving a fallacious argument. Parliament, even if there is a convention that a president does not get 2 consecutive terms after Rajendra Prasad, nobody did.
Right.
In the case of Dr. Kalam, who was such an eminent person and such a successful person who, who really ignited minds, as his own book talks about, and it should have been, there's nothing in the constitution, there's nothing in the rule book which says you cannot get 2 consecutive terms. So, but last time the Congress took this position that anybody but Kalam. And that is carrying on for reasons that only Manish can explain, or maybe the occupants of 10 Janpath can explain, that why they have this visceral kind of problem with Dr. Kalam, and this time he's not even a consecutive term. There's been a gap, and people feel that he was perhaps the best president since the earliest days of our constitution, and why not, and he left it kind of incomplete. Why not give him another term? What is the problem? I fail to see. It is a visceral hatred the Congress has for him.
May I again, very, very clearly and unambiguously disabuse Mr. Chandan Mitra of that notion that we have a problem with any person per se. And that brings me to another fundamental issue. Before you toss the name of a former president of India into the ring and make it an issue of public debate, has Mr. Chandan Mitra or the Bharatiya Janata Party or the NDA checked with him, is he really willing?
Absolutely.
Before you toss his name into the ring.
We are not talking. I mean, the names are not yet officially on the table.
That's the most relevant thing. Before you toss anybody's name into the ring, Chandan, you should at least have the courage.
I would like to say,
I'm coming back to the central point tonight. 1 minute, Chandan Mitra, tonight Manish Tiwari is accusing you indirectly of the same point which I asked rhetorically at the start of the program. That are you using Kalam? Are you using Kalam? Because you and Subramaniam Swamy are both...
You think...
Are you using Kalam?
You think Dr. Kalam is such a respected, honored person that, you see, and also he is no babe in the woods. He has been president of this country.
Have you asked him?
He has handled major scientific institutions. He is not a babe in the woods.
Have you asked him?
We are not even proposed his name. No, 1 minute. Let's clarify. Dr. Kalam is as of now not a candidate.
Sushma Swaraj has taken his name.
No.
Sushma Swaraj has taken his name.
A name like Arnab, let me clarify. Sushma Swaraj has said that if his name were to come up, yes, BJP would favor such a person. That remains our stand. Yes, I mean we are.
Which is precisely the point, Arnab. Which is precisely the point.
Last time only.
No, 1 second. Yes, Krishna Prasad wants to come in.
Which is precisely the point, which is, I agree with Manish Tiwari that this whole issue has to be politicized because political parties are taking part in this contest. But this whole sounding out process could have well been done behind the scenes. You have not seen that kind of an effort from either party. The Congress has been going around meeting members of the alliance in different states. The BJP has been going around and announcing candidates in its own ways. But the point really here is this much, which is even if the BJP is only going to back Mr. Kalam if somebody puts him up, it brings the central issue back to the scene, which is that neither party, neither the Congress nor the BJP on their own can get their own candidate in, which is why the BJP is opting to shoot this from the shoulders of the Samajwadi Party. The Samajwadi Party is the first party which threw up the name of Kalam in 2004 or whenever that was, and I think at this juncture too, it is the Samajwadi Party which in cahoots with the TMC has been pushing Kalam's candidature. The BJP realizes that it does not have the numbers, neither does the NDA have the numbers to push its candidate. Therefore, this whole thing that could have been done behind the doors is being pushed onto the central stage.
Mr.
Correct. Kalam...
So, Subramaniam Swamy is debating you. 1 sec, Krishna. Yes, Dr. Swamy.
Yeah.
Dr. Swamy.
Yeah, I think he's not a politician, so he doesn't know what kind of backroom, deep interactions there have been. I can tell you there has been fair amount of consultation in the last 3 weeks, and Kalam's name has made the rounds in several parties who have proposed it, and Sushma Swaraj was very correct in saying that the BJP has no objection would support Kalam if the other party supported it. So if BJP proposes a candidate, everybody will make that an issue. So the BJP has been very clever this time by saying that if other parties propose a person like Kalam, we would support it.
I find it impossible to believe, Chandan Mitra, that you are taking Abdul Kalam's name without having a conversation with him, and therefore I would request you once again tonight to reveal a little bit more of what your conversation with Abdul Kalam is about. You know, Abdul Kalam is extremely, suave in terms of avoiding the media. In fact, we caught up with him right in the Netherlands and he tried to avoid us. He says, I don't know what is going on in India. And then he starts talking about molecular physics or something a little more esoteric as if he doesn't know about what's going on. Now, we do know that there's a conversation going on. Can the people of this country know? What is your Kalam strategy?
To the best of my knowledge, there is no conversation. If there has been conversation, I am not privy to it. I think the best person to answer this question is Dr. Kalam himself.
Dr. Kalam is avoiding the question. You may have had a chat with him about it.
Well, I mean, you must accept his privilege not to respond.
Yeah, but then,
as of now,
your leader,
I am not privy. I am not privy to any discussion that may or may not have happened.
But then your leader, Sushma Swaraj, goes around saying that if Mulayam Singh Yadav names Abdul Kalam, they will endorse his candidature. You know that a few days back, Mulayam Singh Yadav distanced himself from his own party colleagues' comments favouring Kalam, saying it may be his personal view, but the party has not decided yet. Then the Indian Express or some other newspaper even suggested the fact that maybe Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav was himself being propped for the presidency. In this highly confusing situation.
What is the upshot of this? What is the upshot of all that?
Upshot is
it's premature.
Upshot
is premature. A lot of names will float around. Let us see how everything distills and then narrows down to a few contenders. We'll know in a couple of weeks' time.
Upshot is, as Manish Tiwari says, why are you throwing names in the air? Can you please tell Manish Tiwari what is behind your strategy of throwing names in the air? It has never happened before like this.
Are they not throwing names in the air?
Only one name.
They're going all over the place. They're discussing, and I think it's legitimate. I have no problem with the Congress doing this.
Absolutely.
It is their legitimate right to
whose name have they thrown in the air?
Swap names.
Whose name are they throwing in the air?
And why not? No, I think Manish is being disingenuous where he accuses us of throwing names in the air. I think Congress party is entirely right to throw some names in the air. Let the names come up and let
the way a president is elected.
Degree of consensus
Manish
involved.
is responding. Manish, you've also thrown names in the air.
Arnab, allow me to again put it on record categorically that we have absolutely not thrown any names in the air
Ansari?
or any hats in the ring. No. The question is, has anybody from the Congress, officially or unofficially, ever publicly stated that A, B, C, D are the names which are under consideration from our side? We are sounding out our allies. We are trying to assess what the situation
Congress
is.
Party,
we are seeing what the lay of the land is. We are not being irresponsible that, you throw somebody, as eminent as Dr. Kalam, who's been the former president of India, name into the ring, without even somebody having a conversation with him. After all, if the BJP is endorsing Dr. Kalam's candidature in a very disingenuous or in a very backhanded manner, I think the least they should have done is gone and had a conversation with him. And if they've had a conversation with him, then let Chandan Mitra put it squarely to the people in your channel.
Yeah, Dr. Swami.
Don't hide under Arnab's question. Don't hide under Arnab's question.
Let Manish answer the specific question. If the entire opposition backs Kalam, will Congress agree to it?
Name into the ring, at least check with the gentleman.
No, 1 second, Manish. Dr. Subramaniam Swami.
I am neither confirming nor denying.
Dr. Swami.
But these things are not in the public domain.
I feel this discussion is going around. I feel if you are throwing names in the air, everybody should throw their name in the air so that the people of India can get involved in a presidential election. Why should it be a cloak and dagger presidential election? Let it be an open discussion.
Let the Congress also throw up names.
Let the Congress throw up. Subramaniam Swami has a counter question for you.
Let Congress say that if the entire opposition agrees on Kalam, they will also agree.
No, but isn't it ironic?
Manish, go on, Manish.
Of a billion people.
Manish, respond to that.
Dr. Swami is at his metaphorical best. The fact is that there is a consultation process or a sounding out process going on. Once the electoral process formally kicks off and the sounding out process fructifies, yes, there will be a name on the table. obviously you're not going to have a ghost in Rashtrapati Bhavan. There is going to be a live person in flesh and blood occupying that position. So therefore, let us wait, let the process formally kick off, let the sounding out process fructify into something concrete, and there would be a name on the table at the end of it.
No, yeah, I don't think Subramaniam Swamy is satisfied with the answer. He's asking you a counter question. Go on, Dr. Swamy. Go on, directly.
No. My counter question is, let it be Mr. X. If the entire opposition agrees on Mr. X, will you support that Mr. X, or will you say no, it has to be someone we agree with?
Well, let me reverse the charge, Dr. Swamy. If the entire UPA agrees on a particular candidate, would the opposition then step up to the plate and say that the entire UPA has agreed to it, so therefore the opposition will support it as a consensus candidate?
UPA is a minority.
May I point out,
the majority, including Mulayam Singh and Mamata Banerjee, is 65%.
And so is the opposition a minority.
May I point out to Manish Tiwari that the name that has been thrown
opposition
up
not a minority.
has not come from BJP. It has not come from BJP. It has come from your allies or supporting parties.
Which name?
Therefore,
Which
it
name?
is for you really to
Which
respond.
Name? Which name?
The name of Hamid Ansari and Pranab Mukherjee have come up from your side, and Kalam's name did not come from us. It is one of your supporting parties.
Which one?
The Samajwadi Party. Samajwadi Party, which did propose the name. They did it in 2007 also. In 2007, it's Samajwadi Party which proposed Dr. Kalam, not BJP.
Yes, Manish Tiwari.
Chandan, for the sake of argument, if I was to concede to what you are saying, then possibly the ally, who proposed Dr. Kalam's name may have checked with them. Why don't you go and first check with them? And before you decided to endorse it, did you go and check with Dr. Kalam that did any conversation with any person with regard to his candidature take place? You are the principal opposition party. You claim to be a responsible party. The least that you can do, before you start endorsing a very eminent personality who's been the former president of India, propriety demands that you go and have a proper conversation. If you've had it,
are you ducking? Are you ducking the Kalam question, Manish?
You should go and do it.
Manish, are you ducking the Kalam question?
I reply to this question. Once again, let me just clarify that a person of Dr. Kalam's eminence, you don't go around, throwing his name out in the air without nothing. I cannot
specify nothing.
Deny whether there has been any conversation has happened.
Specify.
No, but therefore,
no, specify. 1 minute. Chandan Mitra, 1 minute. You just said you don't take the name of Dr. Kalam without nothing. Now specify nothing. Some kind of telepathy, perhaps, between the BJP and Dr. Kalam.
We believe.
No background discussion.
President, and his name has come out. Today. Mrs. Swaraj was asked to comment on some names. So we said if a person of the stature of Dr. Kalam emerges as a candidate from some other opposition parties, we'll be happy to endorse it.
Manish
does not require prior clearance.
No. What appears, Manish, is that the situation here is like this: that the attempt seems to be to create a non-Congress candidate. To have a non-Congress candidate.
That is correct. Except Dr. Kalam, who is neither Congress nor opposition. But we will not agree to the Congress imposing somebody, one of their political people, on the country.
Chandan Mitra, is this, however, Chandan Mitra, 1 minute. No, Subramaniam Swamy, is this about electing a president? Is it about electing a president? Or is it about breaking the UPA? Please tell us clearly. What is the real intention? Is it about breaking the UPA or the country having a president?
If you are asking me,
yes, Subramaniam Swamy, to you.
On behalf of the BJP for which Mr. Chandan Mitra is there. But if I ask me, breaking of the UPA is an essential part of political democracy.
But you are using the presidential contest to do that, you admit.
No.
Of course I admit.
I think Dr. Swamy has been very clear and candid. What is wrong with that? It's a political election. The political candidates are being thrown up. Congress is throwing up political names. And why are you asking us to avoid politics? Did they avoid politics last time? they picked up somebody who was not even in active politics but a dyed-in-the-wool congresswoman and insisted that they will, against a person of the stature of Bhairav Singh Shekhawat, they pick someone else. So it is a political scene.
Okay.
No, I'm very glad. I'm very glad that the BJP and the NDA has conceded and they're being upfront that this is all about politics. It is not about
I didn't say that, but it's part of politics.
Political person,
you said that too.
who has been the former president of India. It is about politics, so therefore, for them, the presidential election is just an extension of their politics by subterfuge, and that is
a big charge.
If they really want to endorse the name,
that's a big charge.
Your opposition to Dr. Kalam, your opposition to Dr. Kalam is political.
This is our candidate, and let's take it from there.
I'm sorry, Manish, your opposition to Dr. Kalam is political. Our support for Dr. Kalam, if his name were to come up, is not political. We want a consensus.
Well,
you are not allowing a consensus because you say anybody but Dr. Kalam. That is your politics.
Chandan, if you want to imagine our opposition to a particular person, I can't grudge you your imagination and I can't grudge you the right to do that. But if you would have heard me earlier, I have very categorically said that the Congress has never been opposed to a person per se. If there was a particular stand taken in 2007, it was only respecting conventions which had been set over the years. So therefore, I don't think, you should try and play in waters which are not troubled and try and pit Dr. Kalam against the Congress, which is not the case.
Fair enough. Let me accept that for argument's sake. But why don't you then say that yes, anybody, including Dr. Kalam, if he emerges as a consensus of the majority of parties, Congress is willing. Why don't you say that?
Well,
What exactly is the Congress saying today? What the Congress is saying today is that we are preliminarily sounding out our allies. Let us see what the lay of the land is and let's wait for the situation to crystallize. Has the Congress publicly gone around endorsing or decrying? In fact, you've not only publicly endorsed without checking, but you've also taken the liberty of decrying people whose names have not been put out by anybody.
Such as Hamid Ansari. Such as Hamid Ansari. Such as Pranab Mukherjee.
You have to just hear the leader of the opposition. You just have to hear the leader of opposition statement.
Well, I think this is getting very intense.
I do not need to interpret it.
I am not clear tonight if anyone but Kalam approach of the Congress party of 2007 has changed. But Krishna Prasad, who's going to win this? Who's going to win this, Krishna?
Oh, who's going to win this debate? I don't know. But
not this debate, the election.
Who's going to win this presidential poll is very, very much in the air. I think you need to read between the lines of what Manish is saying, what Dr. Mitra is saying here. Dr. Mitra is very clearly saying that A, Abdul Kalam is not a babe in the woods. That's a significant thing to say. B, I refuse to believe that the BJP could have been floating this name in public without having had some kind of consultation. But most importantly, the fact that Dr. Mitra is saying that somebody within the UPA has been floating Kalam's name suggests to you the kind of fissures that exist within the UPA. We have so far just been
talking about the TMC. But he should name the person.
And we have just been talking of the TMC and we've been talking about, Samajwadi Party. We haven't talked of the other great imponderable, which is Sharad Pawar. Sharad Pawar is a key player in this drama. You should not forget the fact that Pawar was the guy who said that it's time for an apolitical president again. And that's what really kicked off this whole process. When people started denying or confirming their candidature for Kalam. So I think Sharad Pawar holds the key, because I think he really is playing a background game. Yeah, Jayalalitha too, I would agree, and Biju Janata Dal. But I think predominantly it's TMC, Samajwadi Party and Sharad Pawar. And Sharad Pawar is the great imponderable in this election because of a whole variety of stories you've been hearing in New Delhi. I think one of the things that, we've been trying to get from both Chandan Mitra, one of the things you've been trying to get from both
let me also add that
what's been happening.
Let me also add that if Mr. Dr. Kalam is the candidate, DMK won't dare to vote against him because he's a Tamil.
That's still up in the air because we've been hearing reports to the contrary too. But I think what you're seeing, if Dr. Kalam, day before yesterday, seemed to suggest that somewhat that he was not opposed to the idea of this candidature, and what it really does, if he does stand in this election, and if the Congress does not elect to agree to his consensus, to his candidature as a consensus candidate, is that it will really diminish Kalam in the eyes of the people.
Well,
Kalam
he's not going to stick his neck out, but
people like
he's
him.
not going to stick his neck out. For all that people say, he's not going to stick his neck out. He in fact says, I don't even know there's a presidential contest.
We will persuade him to stick his neck out.
Well, we will have to see if he says anything on record.
Don't ever forget, Dr. Kalam is an ISRO scientist. He only knows one rocket going up. He doesn't know two rockets going up. He only wants to win a race. He wants to take part in a race in which
he is going to win. This election.
And if there is a contest, it's going to reduce Dr. Kalam in the eyes of the people.
He's a lot smarter than that.
Here's the same man. Here's the same man who said, I won't stand in the 2007 elections because not everybody was agreed. And if he does stand now, I think it's going to be a small problem for his image.
I think somewhere the anti-Congress brigade has done a calculation saying who is the person around whom there can be the greatest possible consensus, and they have come to Dr. Kalam's name. Dr. Kalam is not going to say anything. Manish Tiwari knows this is an attempt to corner the Congress party. How the Congress party responds in this situation will be very, very interesting. I'd like to remind our viewers, 2007, Priyaranjan Das Munshi was the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. It was a big coup that he actually carried out when Shekhawat was elected. Manish, your attempt is to corner you. The attempt, it's not a happy situation to be in.
Allow me to very clearly and succinctly put it on record. If at all anybody has an attempt to corner us or out-corner us, at the end of the day, we will do, whatever is required in national interest to see that the prestige and the dignity of this eminent office continues to remain undiminished. That is the only thing that we can say at the moment. We will have to wait for this process to play itself out. We can keep on speculating till the cows come home, but I don't think that's going to serve any purpose at this point in time.
Manish Tiwari, Chandan Mitra, Subramaniam Swamy and Krishna Prasad, thank you very much.